As we grow older, life teaches us lessons in the most unexpected ways. You look back and realize how much time you wasted worrying about things that simply don't matter. In your youth, it's easy to get caught up in society's expectations, chasing after status, material wealth, or approval from others. But as the years pass, those things start to lose their shine, and you begin to see life from a completely different lens. Think about it. How many elderly people have you met who regret not buying that luxury car or not gaining more followers on social media? Most of their regrets are about missed opportunities to live authentically, to love deeply, or to find peace within themselves. In the end, what really matters isn't what you thought when you were young. So today, let's talk about the things you'll realize don't matter as you age, and why it's important to recognize them before it's too late. So stick with me, watch until the end, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Because here, we talk about the real stuff, the lessons that actually matter in life. Let's get into it. 1. Status and approval from others. When we're younger, we often become consumed by the desire to be noticed, to be someone in the eyes of the world. We chase after status, recognition, and approval, believing that these things will somehow define our worth. You want people to respect you, to acknowledge your successes, and to admire your lifestyle. It feels like a race to be at the top, and you measure yourself by how others perceive you, whether that's in your career, your social circle, or even within your family. But the truth is, people's opinions are like shifting sands. They change with time, trends, and circumstances. One moment, you might be in the spotlight, receiving applause and admiration. The next, you're forgotten, replaced by someone newer, more exciting, or more relevant to what's popular at the time. It's a sobering realization that external validation is as fleeting as the seasons. As you age, you start to see through the illusion. You begin to understand that living for the approval of others is a never-ending cycle, one that leaves you constantly chasing, but never fully satisfied. You may have spent years trying to meet society's standards, but at the end of the day, whose opinion truly matters? Is it the approval of your coworkers, acquaintances, or even distant family members who barely know the real you? Or is it your own inner sense of fulfillment, knowing that you've lived a life true to your values? In old age, the need for recognition fades, and what emerges is the understanding that true contentment comes from within. It's not about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. Have you lived authentically? Have you made decisions based on what truly matters to you rather than what others expect? These are the questions that start to take precedence as you grow older. The weight of public opinion loses its grip. You stop caring whether people approve of your choices or if they think you've made it in life. What becomes far more important is whether you feel peace in your heart. Are you proud of the life you've built regardless of outside judgment? Did you spend your time pursuing things that brought you genuine joy and fulfillment? Or did you spend it trying to impress people who were never really invested in your happiness? As the years pass, you'll realize that the energy you once spent trying to gain approval would have been better used on self-acceptance. Because at the end of it all, it's not the accolades or the praise that stick with you. It's the quiet sense of peace that comes from knowing you lived life on your terms. In old age, you'll see clearly that what truly matters is not the approval of others, but the deep contentment that comes from being at peace with who you are and the life you've lived. 2. Material possessions. In your younger years, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness lies in material possessions. You spend countless hours working hard, saving up, and planning for that next big purchase. The luxury car, the sprawling house, the latest tech gadget. You tell yourself that once you have these things, you'll finally feel satisfied, accomplished, and happy. But the reality is, the excitement of owning something new, fades quicker than you expect. At first, it feels exhilarating. You show off your new car or you take pride in that expensive watch or designer wardrobe. But over time, the novelty wears off. The car loses its shine. The house requires constant maintenance, and the gadgets become outdated. Instead of bringing joy, these possessions often become burdens. They need to be maintained, repaired, cleaned, or replaced. You realize that owning more doesn't equate to living better. As you grow older, you start to see life through a different lens. You begin to notice that the things you once thought were so important don't really add meaning to your life. The moments that fill you with joy and peace aren't tied to what you own, but to what you've experienced. It's the laughter shared with loved ones, the quiet moments of reflection, the adventures that took you out of your comfort zone. These are the things that leave a lasting imprint on your heart. Possessions can clutter your space, but they can also clutter your mind. With age comes the realization that you don't need more things to feel fulfilled. What matters far more are the memories you've made along the way. A dinner with friends, a sunset watched in silence, a conversation that touched your soul. These experiences hold a richness that no material object can provide. They don't require maintenance or protection. They simply live in your heart, growing more precious with time. You start to see that true wealth doesn't come from what you have, but from how you've lived. Did you spend your time chasing after the latest trends, or did you invest in relationships and experiences that brought real meaning to your life? In the end, it's the moments, not the things, that make life worthwhile. The possessions will come and go, but the memories, the laughter, the love, the connections you've made, they remain. When you reach old age, you'll find that you no longer crave the material. What you value most are the stories you've collected, the bonds you've built, and the peace that comes from living a life rich in experience, not in things. Not in things. Instead of filling your home with stuff, fill your life with meaning. Because when it's all said and done, it's the moments that touched your heart, not the objects in your home, that truly matter. 3. Holding grudges. When you're young, it's almost second nature to hold on to anger or resentment when someone wrongs you. You replay the hurt in your mind, convinced that holding a grudge will somehow make things right. You think that if you stay angry, you're protecting yourself or teaching the other person a lesson. In many ways, it feels like a form of control. Like by holding on to the grudge, you're proving a point, standing your ground. But over time, that anger doesn't stay contained. It grows, weighs on your heart, and slowly drains your energy. At first, it might seem like being right matters more than anything else. You justify your anger because, after all, you were wronged. But as you grow older, you start to see that holding on to that bitterness costs you more than it ever does the other person. The grudge doesn't hurt them. It only hurts you. You spend precious time and emotional energy dwelling on the past, reliving the pain, and in doing so, you keep yourself stuck. What you don't realize until later is that while you're fixated on what happened, life is moving on without you. With age comes the wisdom that life is far too short to waste on negativity. The years pass quickly, and you start to see the value in peace over being right. You begin to understand that every moment spent in anger is a moment lost from experiencing the beauty and richness of the present. You realize that grudges don't make you stronger. They keep you trapped in a cycle of pain. As you get older, your perspective shifts, and you see that true strength comes from letting go. Forgiveness, you come to learn, isn't about excusing someone's actions or letting them off the hook. It's about freeing yourself. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It means deciding that you will no longer allow that pain to control your life. You're releasing the hold that anger and resentment have over you, so you can move forward and find peace within yourself. There's a deep liberation in realizing that you don't have to carry the weight of old wounds anymore. When you let go of a grudge, it feels like a weight lifting off your shoulders. You're no longer tied to the past, and you can fully embrace the present. You can choose to live a life free of the chains of resentment. And in old age, that freedom feels more valuable than anything else. As you age, you recognize that peace of mind is priceless. Holding grudges keeps you stuck in the past, but forgiveness allows you to live in the present. It allows you to focus on the moments that truly matter, the moments of love, joy, and connection. In the end, what's more important? Proving you were right or living a life free from the burden of old anger. When you let go, you're not just giving up the grudge. You're reclaiming your peace, your joy, and your future. 4. The pursuit of perfection. In your younger years, it's easy to fall into the trap of perfectionism. Society bombards you with the message that you should have it all. A perfect career, a perfect family, and a perfect life wrapped up in a neat little bow. You spend so much time and energy trying to meet this impossible standard, always feeling like you're falling short. Whether it's excelling at work, maintaining a picture-perfect home, or being the perfect partner or parent, the pressure to be flawless can feel overwhelming. You become so focused on presenting this image of perfection to the world that you lose sight of what truly matters. You're constantly chasing an ideal that doesn't even exist, comparing yourself to others who seem to have everything together. But here's the truth. No one has it all figured out. No one lives a life free from mistakes, setbacks, or struggles. As you grow older, you start to realize that perfection is nothing more than an illusion. A mirage that keeps you running but never allows you to reach the finish line. With age comes the wisdom that life is not about being perfect. It's about being real. Perfection is sterile, unattainable, and honestly, boring. What makes life beautiful are the flaws, the challenges, the moments where things don't go according to plan, but somehow turn out just right. The missed opportunities, the detours, the imperfections. They are the fabric of a life well lived. These moments add color and depth to your story. They're what make you human. As you age, you begin to embrace the messiness of life. You understand that the pursuit of perfection only leads to frustration and exhaustion. It's liberating to let go of the idea that everything needs to be just right, and instead appreciate the beauty in imperfection. The cracks and the flaws are what make your life uniquely yours. They tell the story of your growth, your resilience, and your ability to adapt. When you stop striving for an unattainable ideal, you allow yourself to live more authentically. You stop trying to meet everyone else's expectations and start focusing on what genuinely makes you happy. You begin to ask yourself, am I living in a way that feels true to who I am? Have I embraced the parts of my life that don't fit the mold, but bring me joy and meaning nonetheless? In the end, what matters is not that you lived a perfect life, but that you lived a life true to yourself. Perfection may seem like the goal in youth, but as you grow older, you realize it's far more fulfilling to live authentically, embracing the ups and downs, the successes and failures. The pursuit of perfection becomes less important, and the pursuit of a meaningful, joyful, and authentic life takes center stage. Perfection may look good on the surface, but it's hollow. What fills your heart are the moments when you allowed yourself to be real, vulnerable, and fully present, imperfections and all. Because in the end, a life well lived is not one where everything went perfectly, but one where you embraced the imperfections and lived with courage, heart, and authenticity. 5. Fear of change. When you're young, change can seem like an enemy, something to be feared, resisted, or avoided. You feel comfort in familiarity, in knowing what to expect. Whether it's the steady rhythm of your job, the stability of your relationships, or even the youthful vitality of your body, you cling to what feels secure. You tell yourself that if you can just keep everything the same, you'll be safe, comfortable, and in control. But change is inevitable. It touches every part of your life, whether you're ready for it or not. In youth, the fear of change often stems from uncertainty. What if the new job isn't as fulfilling as the old one? What if the dynamics of your relationship shift in ways you can't predict? What if aging takes away your strength or independence? These are natural fears, and they can make you resist change with all your might. You may try to hold on to the past, to keep things just as they are. But the truth is, no matter how much you resist, life continues to move forward. As you grow older, however, something begins to shift. You come to understand that change isn't the enemy. It's simply part of the natural flow of life. Instead of fearing it, you start to see change as an opportunity, a gateway to new experiences and personal growth. With age, you gain the wisdom that resisting change only makes life harder. Clinging to the past or trying to stop the inevitable only creates stress and disappointment. Life moves on, whether you fight it or embrace it. The older you get, the more you begin to flow with life's transitions. You realize that changes in your body, your career, or your relationships are not the end of the world. They are simply new chapters, new seasons in the story of your life. The fear of change starts to fade because you've seen, time and time again, that you have the ability to adapt, grow, and even thrive through these transitions. When your career path shifts or your role in life changes, you no longer panic. You understand that every ending brings with it a new beginning. Maybe a career change leads you to discover a new passion. Maybe your relationships evolve, teaching you deeper lessons about love and connection. Even the changes in your physical body, which can seem so daunting in youth, become easier to accept as you age. You learn to appreciate the wisdom and experience that come with growing older, rather than focusing solely on what you've lost. With time, you start to embrace change as a necessary part of life's journey. You no longer fear it, but rather see it as a chance to evolve. The transitions you go through in life teach you resilience, adaptability, and patience. They show you that life isn't meant to stay stagnant. It's meant to unfold, to grow, to change. In old age, you come to see that the fear of change was never about the change itself. It was about the unknown. But the more you experience, the more you realize that every change, no matter how difficult at first, brings with it new wisdom and opportunities. It's through these shifts that you grow, learn, and find deeper meaning in life. So as you age, you stop fighting change. You start to flow with it, understanding that each new chapter is just another part of the rich, evolving story of your life. And in doing so, you gain a sense of peace, knowing that change is not something to be feared, but embraced as an essential part of your growth and journey toward wisdom. 6. Winning every argument. When you're young, every argument feels like a battle, one that you're determined to win. It's not just about proving a point, it's about validating your sense of self, showing others that you're right, strong, or intelligent. You get caught up in the heat of the moment, convinced that winning every debate or conflict somehow affirms your worth. The rush of victory may feel satisfying for a moment, but it's fleeting. More often than not, the fallout from constantly needing to be right leaves behind strained relationships and lingering tension. In youth, there's a sense of urgency around proving yourself. Whether it's in the workplace, within your family, or among friends, you feel like you have something to prove. You think that by winning arguments, you're establishing your place in the world, reinforcing your opinions, and demonstrating your strength. But as you age, you begin to see things differently. You start to question whether all that effort was really worth it. With time and experience, you gain the wisdom that not every argument deserves your energy. In fact, most conflicts are far less important than they seemed in the heat of the moment. You begin to understand that winning an argument may satisfy your ego, but at what cost? Do you really want to damage relationships or create unnecessary tension just to feel like you've won? As you grow older, you come to realize that peace, both in your heart and in your relationships, is far more valuable than proving you were right. In old age, the need to win fades, replaced by a desire for harmony. You no longer feel compelled to argue every point or convince others of your perspective. You realize that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and that often the most powerful response is simply to let go. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is to walk away from a fight, not because you're weak, but because you understand that not every battle is worth fighting. This doesn't mean that you become passive or avoid standing up for yourself when it truly matters. Rather, you gain the wisdom to pick your battles carefully. You start to see that real strength lies in knowing when to speak up and when to let go. You choose to engage only in conflicts that are meaningful, that align with your values, and that are worth the energy they demand. Everything else, you let it slide, knowing that the peace of mind you gain is far more rewarding than the fleeting satisfaction of an argument won. What you also come to realize is that many arguments are driven by ego, by the need to be seen as superior, more knowledgeable, or more righteous. But as you age, you start to see that ego-driven victories are hollow. They don't bring lasting satisfaction. What does bring true fulfillment is cultivating understanding, compassion, and empathy in your relationships. By letting go of the need to win, you create space for deeper connections, for mutual respect, and for genuine peace. In the end, you learn that life isn't about proving yourself to others. It's about finding inner peace. It's about nurturing relationships that enrich your life, not tearing them down with constant conflict. Winning every argument may feel good in the short term, but in the long run, it's the ability to let go, to choose peace over pride. That truly brings happiness. As you grow older, you stop needing to win and start valuing the harmony and contentment that come with knowing when to let go. 7. Chasing after time. In your younger years, life often feels like a race. You're constantly in motion, chasing after deadlines, goals, and milestones. Graduating from school, landing the perfect job, building a family, hitting every career milestone. The clock seems to be ticking faster with each passing day, and there's a constant pressure to do more, achieve more, and pack as much into your life as possible. It's easy to believe that by filling every moment with activity and ambition, you're somehow making the most of your time. But as you grow older, something shifts. You begin to realize that life isn't a sprint, and rushing through it doesn't make it more meaningful. It just makes you miss what's right in front of you. Chasing after time, constantly looking toward the next achievement, keeps you from fully appreciating the present moment. You find yourself checking off boxes on your to-do list, but the joy and beauty of life start to blur in the background. As the years go by, you begin to slow down. You stop chasing time and start counting moments, those small, fleeting instances that make life truly rich and meaningful. You begin to understand that life isn't about how many things you can accomplish or how quickly you can get there. It's about being fully present, experiencing the depth of each moment, and savoring the simple, often overlooked parts of life. You start to notice that the things that seemed so urgent when you were younger, meeting every deadline, staying on top of your career, constantly moving toward the next goal, don't carry the same weight anymore. What matters more are the moments that fill your heart, the quiet mornings with a cup of coffee, the laughter of loved ones, the feeling of sunlight on your face, and the deep conversations that leave you feeling connected and alive. In old age, you come to appreciate the art of slowing down. You stop measuring your life by how much you've achieved and start measuring it by how much you've experienced. You realize that the most meaningful moments are often the simplest ones. The moments of stillness, the conversations that linger, the peaceful walks, the time spent with those you care about. The rush that defined your younger years fades, and with it, the anxiety of always needing to do more. You realize that there's no need to constantly push forward, that sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is permission to pause and simply be, to enjoy the present without worrying about what comes next, to let go of the pressure to always be productive and instead focus on being present, mindful, and at peace. As you age, you also come to terms with the fact that time is finite, but it's not something you can control. Rushing through life won't make it last longer. It will just make you miss the beauty of it. The truth is, the more you try to race against time, the less you'll actually enjoy it. But when you embrace the present and let go of the need to constantly move forward, you discover the richness that life has to offer. Old age teaches you the value of presence over productivity. You no longer feel the need to chase after every fleeting moment because you've learned that true fulfillment comes from embracing life as it is, not from rushing through it. You understand that time, when fully lived, is abundant, and it's the small, slow moments that hold the most meaning. So you stop chasing time. You stop worrying about the future or racing to meet every expectation. Instead, you focus on living each day with intention, appreciation, and gratitude. And in doing so, you finally understand that life's greatest treasures aren't found in the hustle. They're found in the quiet, in the simple joys, and in the moments you fully allow yourself to experience. So what truly matters as you age? It's not the status you've worked so hard to achieve, the material possessions you've accumulated, or the grudges you've held on to. Those things may have seemed important at the time, but in the grand scheme of life, they lose their significance. What really matters is the peace you've cultivated within yourself, the meaningful relationships you've nurtured, and the authenticity with which you've lived your life. It's about the moments where you've chosen peace over conflict, love over resentment, and real connection over superficial pursuits. The truth is, these are lessons we often learn too late, once time has already passed us by. But here's the thing, you don't have to wait until old age to embrace them. You can start living these truths today. Let go of the things that don't serve you. Whether it's the need for validation, the pursuit of perfection, or the fear of change. The sooner you release what doesn't matter, the sooner you can focus on what truly does. Life becomes richer, deeper, and more fulfilling when you prioritize the things that bring you real joy, peace, and contentment. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content that inspires personal growth and mindful living. Let's continue this journey together. Let's continue this journey together. One lesson at a time. And remember, the best time to start living a life that truly matters is now. Thank you for watching.